Hello, everyone. So I am so excited to share my insights for this week. And this week is about forgiveness. And the reason I'm talking about forgiveness is because many women on a mission to make a difference have this huge goals, right? And are trying all kinds of ways to achieve their goals. You're taking the action, you've probably done all the 10x stuff and all the very physical elements to manifestation. And you're also probably doing the affirmations, the manifestations, and all the energy work, and you've been doing that for years because you're perfectionists. There's a method and you want to do it right, right? And I'm just going to share a few things that I realized over the years. So I started off in the corporate world. I was a complete workaholic. I had absolutely no boundaries when it came to showing up at work and performing. I was in very much the performance mode. I prided myself and, not taking my holidays, always being on top of everything, answering every single email, to the minute. In fact, it was so bad that once I did not respond to a client. I think this was within a day or so, and he wrote to me concerned, asking whether I was ill. And I thought, wow, I do have a reputation. In any case, I digress. The reason I'm sharing this is very simple. You have a goal, you have a mission, there's a difference you want to make. And you probably don't want to achieve that goal at the expense of your health, your relationships, and your joy, basically. And so in order to do this, one thing that's probably becoming quite apparent is that it's impossible to achieve every single thing that you want. It's impossible to do everything you want if you're only in doing mode. Hi, Christelle. So this is why one of the insights you understand as a queen visionary is that it is 80% energy and 20% strategy. I could write a business plan for you in a few minutes. And I'm sure that you probably have been on so many courses about what to do and how to do it, etc., etc. But things may still not be showing up for you even after years of actually showing up and doing what you were meant to be doing. So today I'm going to be focusing on one drain. One thing which basically it continues in your life is like you pouring water into a basket. And of course, it's not holding because it's seeping through. So I'm sure just like me, you have been hurt by someone. It could have been when you were a child. It could have been when you were an adult. It doesn't really matter. But at some point, somebody hurt you and you made a decision. And the decision was probably along the lines of, you've hurt me so badly. This is going to be the last time it's going to happen. I am never going to allow you hurt me again. And how does this show up? We close our hearts. We probably even avoid the person. We choose not to talk to the person any longer. We bear a grudge. And we feel that protects us from further hurt. The fact is that when we do not forgive, we're keeping this person in a jail in our own minds. And because we're keeping the person in a jail in our own minds, it's occupying space. And I really want this to land for you. Apart from occupying space, in order to justify keeping that person in that jail, we get to keep reliving and activating the hurt to justify why we're keeping and bearing the grudge. Okay? And I'm not saying that what the person did was okay. I'm not even saying that you need to reconcile in the sense of be friends with the person. I'm only saying that it's important that we understand that by choosing to bear that grudge, by choosing to hold on to the hurt, by choosing to keep that person in our mind as a person non grata, somebody to be suspicious of and somebody not to associate with, we are shutting up our own hearts. This is exactly what I did. I had this experience, somebody hurt me really badly. I decided I was never going to allow myself to be hurt so badly. And what happened was basically very simple. I chose to shut my heart. I chose not to show up as my usual bubbly, flowy self. This person was an adult. I was a child at the time. And so it really affected me in so many ways. And the 3 ways in which forgiveness or lack of forgiveness is going to sabotage you is number 1, stress. When you are going around life, consciously or subconsciously, expecting people to hurt you, when you're going around life shutting off your heart because you don't want to be hurt, when you're going around life worried about being betrayed or worried about something bad happening because it's happened in the past and you're still hurting from that, this actually stresses your nervous system, it stresses your reproductive system, it stresses your digestive system. You are wired in a fight, flight, or basically fawn mode. You are not responding. You are not in your highest level of vibration. So although that hurt may have happened several years ago, you keep going through life subconsciously stressed and expecting someone else to hurt you. And the reason is because you've kept that person in the jail of your own mind, and you're focusing on what they did to you. And so there's no separation between that person and everybody else. At some level, you're expecting everyone else to behave like that to you. So your health is actually depleted through lack of forgiveness. And I can also say this, all that energy that is being focused on holding that person in the jail of your own mind is the energy that you're not using to rest and digest. You're not using to optimize and heal. You're not using to focus on your absolutely beautiful goals. And so there's this beautiful saying that where your attention goes, energy flows. If your attention is focused on the hurt of the past, you keep pulling that hurt into your present. And that's what will keep showing up for you and stressing you. The second way in which forgiveness is so detrimental is loneliness. Now, and when I say forgiveness, I mean lack of forgiveness. So when we don't forgive people, because we've protected ourselves, because we were hurt, and that was the way in which we knew how to protect ourselves at the time, we actually subconsciously disconnect ourselves. So we build that wall, and because we built a wall, which we think is protecting us, it also means that love, kindness, support cannot pour in because there's no distinction. It's really difficult for us. And so we find ourselves in lonely places because we no longer trust humanity. We no longer want to open up because there is this underlying fear that we may get hurt again. And I know this one very well because after I was hurt and after I decided I was not going to open up to this particular person, what happened is throughout life, I was getting feedback that Olutibi, you don't let us in. And until I was able to shift this, I wasn't really able to have really, really, really deep, intimate, beautiful relationships. And that can be a very lonely place, especially as an entrepreneur or a high-level professional with so much responsibility. We need support systems that we are involved in, not only for what we can give, because we're very comfortable giving, but also for what we can receive. And receiving can feel very vulnerable. And if we're not comfortable with being vulnerable and opening our hearts, we will feel uncomfortable receiving. And for those of you in relationships, if you want a strong masculine presence and you're not comfortable receiving, you will repel the strong masculine presence because he is going to give. And if you're not open to receiving that, you will not be comfortable with it and you will sabotage it. Just a tip there. Now, the third thing that's very important is that we all want to be financially abundant all kinds of ways. When we do not forgive, what happens is that energetic vibration of hurt, anger, resentment, a general suspicion of life keeps us closed. And because we're closed, it also means that instead of our energetic field being soft and permeable, it's more like a shield. We're shielding ourselves from life. And so we're going to shield ourselves from money. We're going to shield ourselves from kindness. We're going to shield ourselves from support. We're going to shield ourselves from gifts. And we don't do this consciously. Nobody's crazy. But there was a time when I'd go to lunch with friends and I would never allow my friends pay for me. I always wanted to be the one that paid. I'd even go on dates and I'd be so uncomfortable allowing anyone pay for me. And it was the same thing in terms of earning a salary, allowing your clients pay you what you believe you're worth and what you deserve. By the way, a client can never pay you what you're worth because you're priceless. A client can only pay you what you are comfortable receiving. I want that to sink in. So by not forgiving, by staying on the energetic vibration of resentment, and it doesn't really matter what the person did. I am not saying that forgiving means what the person did was acceptable. I'm saying that by continuing to hold on to the hurt and resentment and anger, you are giving up to that person some of the most precious real estate, which is the space between your ears, number one. Number two, you're draining energy from your goals and your desires and your healing and your well-being to focus on that. And number three, you're being extremely unproductive because you're working and you're working and you're working, and it's dragging back by the energetic connection with the past. So instead of your future being created by the power of now from a space of joy, love, confidence, courage, clarity, it's being created or recreated or regurgitated from what happened in the past. So how is forgiveness essential? First thing is that forgiveness actually relaxes your body. When you forgive, and I want you to try this right after this call or tomorrow morning or tonight, and bring up certain people and just say, I forgive you. I know that by starting this practice, what happened was I felt my physical body relax. And that was when I knew that I was actually subconsciously stressed by always expecting and always being in that vibration of this person needs to be away from me. This person hurt me. I have to pay attention to all the boogeymen that may jump out of the bushes. Number one. Number two, by forgiveness, we open our hearts. By forgiveness, we start feeling that the universe is a benevolent place. By forgiveness, we start opening up and being more comfortable with vulnerability. And so others may connect with us more deeply and with much more intimacy. And this is not only on a personal level, but also on a professional level. And the third thing is by forgiveness, we will receive more money. We will receive more opportunities. Why? Because as Joe Dispenza says, whenever you're on an elevated vibration and you have a clear intention, your manifestation happens. It is the law. The intention is the asking. It's like you throwing a spear. And your vibration is what magnetizes it back. So if, for example, you said, I wanted to sign up 5 clients this week, or you have a beautiful contract that you would like to sign up for your company because you're professional and you're really good at what you do. Okay, great. And you have that very clear thought. Bravo. However, you're still on a vibration where there's so many hurts and resentments that you're still keeping. Yes, some of what you wish for may come to you. However, either it's coming to you and it's super difficult to achieve, or you're actually not receiving all the things that are just right there and ready because you asked for them. So my invitation to you is this: if there's one thing you do this week, between now and next Wednesday when we meet again, is to practice forgiveness. I know that it's easier said than done, and do not expect, especially for the things that you have held on to for so many years, for them to just disappear like that. This is why I work with my clients. But what I know is the clients that have learned the techniques of forgiving have seen shifts in their lives, such as increased energy, miraculous money flowing into their lives, having beautiful relationships in ways they did not even believe were possible, right? Another one is just feeling more confidence, more clarity. And so my invitation to you is, if there's one thing you shift this week, every morning wake up and choose whoever comes up to be forgiven, and see what happens in your body as you start to forgive them. I'd love you to type in the chat. This is going to be obviously in the group. What happens when you forgive? Watch miracles happen. If that's the only thing you do as in forgive, your energetic vibrational field will rise. And what did I say earlier? It's 80% energy and 20% strategy. When you focus all your attention on strategy and you're doing 80% strategy, you're always in the action, always in the physical reality, and you don't pay enough attention to the energy, you're going to burn out at some point in time. The first and most important is the field, the energy. And when that is aligned, when that is clarified, when that is elevated, when that is full of joy, when that is open, when that is trusting, watch how everything else happens. So, love and light, I'd love to hear your comments on, is there anyone that you really are not able to forgive up until now? Is forgiveness something you find easy or difficult? And most importantly, do share as the days go by, are you practicing forgiveness? And what's showing up? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Are there miracles that you're seeing? Are things shifting in your life? Love and light, and I cannot wait to see what shifts for you. Take care.